just take note, you know, for anybody who is worrying about how hard they ride. Guess what, man? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You ride like an old bitch. Your bike. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just feel like I need to address this. Because there's just so much insecurity about possessions out there, whether it be cars, computers, houses, relevant to this channel, motorcycles, of course. It's all over the place. People comparing, you know, especially this whole Dyna thing. The Dyna's gone, now it sucks. This is all perception. And I know it's not a foreign concept to any of you out there, but the way it dominates your life, I think, is underappreciated for many people. You gotta realize that nobody outside of yourself really cares about your motorcycle. But the reality is, nobody really cares what you ride. They don't. You're on two wheels to get you from A to B. If it's nice to look at, then if there's a lady in your life, she might like to look at your bike too. It might like to be seen on it. But that's you two. I mean, no one really cares. These things are ubiquitous, especially in a place like Southern California. Maybe it's different in other parts of the world. You know, I'm sure there are other parts of the world where these things are so uncommon that it is more of a defining character about you. But there's so much variability out there. Just don't worry about it. There's so much insecurity about, you know, how fast is my bike, and, you know, is it adequate enough? Come on, man. Come on. Honestly, you're on a heavy slug. You're riding a big, heavy slug. And some of them are faster than others, but it's still a big, heavy slug. Let's be honest. You get a 114, the new Fat Bob that came out, probably the most dynamically capable Harley Davidson that's existed. It's still a fat slug. I haven't even rode it. It has to be. It's a heavy bike. And it's got a better suspension, it's got better brakes, it's got a better engine. I think it's nice to look at, and it's a great bike, but, you know, you're not a badass riding that thing. I mean, there's going to be someone that's going to blow your doors off, and I can't even start naming the bikes. And then we get to the little bikes that are going to blow your doors off, you know, sport bike riders, super nakeds, KTM Super Duke. That would embarrass the Fat Bob. Absolutely embarrass, and it's comfortable. So then, you know, you have the KTM rider that thinks they're a badass now because they're riding the biggest bike. While the guys that ride in the track laughing at people that ride in the street because you can't, talking about riding hard. You know, everyone's just pointing fingers at one another. It's a big churning ball of insecurity. And everyone's gonna take a step back and realize how ridiculous it all is. And what you have to realize is you gotta live in the moment. This moment right now, taking this turn. Feeling your tire on the road. Is this making you happy or not? Are you satisfied or not with your life? I hope you are if you're on two wheels and you have an engine. Turn the throttle, you move at a pace that makes you happy. You look around and you can feel the relaxation that comes along with this. I call it meditation, because we all have to focus on the moment. Otherwise, you're gonna get in an accident. Like this guy with his blinker on. He's gonna turn into me. I love this. I love not getting killed on a bike. Because in order to do that, you can't pay attention to anything else. And that's what's so encouraging. Look at these guys in their bikes. The Bonnevilles. Nice bike. It can do a lot of things that this Harley can't do. It can do a lot of things that, you know, track bike can't do. But this, the constant hierarchy of people, man, it is really sad. You come across some sort of forum or conversation about, you know, riding style and suspension, even on the Harley forums, where some guy doesn't come on and talk about how hard he rides. You get into a tire forum and there's always a guy that says, oh, I burn through tires in like 200 miles. Another guy that says, oh, I go on my soft tail, I'm always scraping my boards. I don't go anywhere without scraping my boards. Come on. This is America, okay? A big chunk of the country doesn't have corners in the first place. So how hard can you ride? And if you're riding a soft tail like I am, don't brag about how hard you ride it, man, because it's freaking sad. This dog looks like a deer. Looks like a damn deer. Look at that thing. Someone's gonna shoot that thing during hunting season. So I was at the dealership yesterday picking up some polish. It's a different story altogether. I'll get on that in a bit. And I caught a show in the parking lot at San Diego Harley. I hear this this craziness going on. I hear engine revving, tires screeching, just nuts, coming from the training course spot in this big old parking lot. And I see this heavily modified. I mean, it looked like a Sportster of some type. And this guy's just doing crazy stunts in this thing, just sliding the bike around all over the parking lot, literally like sliding around vehicles and pulling wheelies, dragging his hand while he's doing a wheelie. I mean, it was just like a non-stop show for no spectators, which is the funny part. It's going on for like 15 minutes plus. But it's a good case in point. I mean, that guy can. There's a lot of dudes out there. That's what they do for a living. They can really ride these bikes. So just take note, for anybody who's worrying about how hard they ride. Guess what, man? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You ride like an old bitch compared to that guy and many other people. And don't get insecure about it that this person's better than you. That's what this guy does for a living. That's what they do. So don't get all bent over it. I'm sure if they walked into your job and they tried working in your machine shop, there would be an absolute mess. I'm sure if they were putting up insulation, they would do the most horrible job of all time. I'm sure if they're trying to file your taxes, it would be a disaster. You suck, I suck, we all suck. Don't talk about how hard you ride the way I ride, man. So funny. You hear this, here's what I hear all the time. And you're talking about, different bikes and their attributes, and some dude, and sorry, but there's a lot of you guys out there, you come out with this, the way I ride, I need a dyno, need a modified dyno the way I ride. Or this bike suits the way I ride. There's a guy that was doing a review. I won't name the video or anything, but I think he worked at a dealership and he's testing out bikes, and he said one of the new soft tails that is a little more on the lighter side and probably more flickable. He said it suits the way I ride. Meanwhile, he's riding in like the straightest road of all time, and then he comments on how good of a lead angle the bikes have as he takes a corner, like a 90-degree corner, turning on one road to another, one slow city street to another. I said, what are you communicating to me right now? Could this get any worse? You're gonna talk about lean angle when you're riding, somewhere in Florida, taking a right-hand turn at a 90-degree angle, doing like 15 miles an hour. What are you communicating to anybody out there? I mean, maybe other people, that live on a flat grid, but it's just pointless. And then they come out with, this bike suits the way I ride, and it was insinuating that this person rides like a nutcase, and do backflips in the street. They somehow manage to pull that off. They're hitting jumps on their bike in the street. You know, it's like, what are you communicating, man? Let's be honest. Let's be honest there. Pretty much everybody that you see up there, if they're on a fat boy with that big old 240 tire, they'll probably hardly ever scrape their boards, and it really wouldn't affect their ride at all. It's all perception. It's all perceived image. And oh man, everyone's gonna let it go, man. It's getting to me. Now, I don't want people to not think they're special, but just like this delusional talk it just gets a little annoying. Which is why it's actually nice to see people. I just saw a couple of guys on some old Hondas. I mean, these things couldn't have more than 40 horsepower or so. And it's nice to see that, because there's less of that in that community. And I can say when I owned the Yamaha FZ07, it was my first bike. Awesome bike, by the way. I missed that thing. If I had room for it, I would have kept it. But that community, that forum, much less insecurity there. I mean, it's just so much more humility. And I think that certain bikes attract people with high levels of insecurity, and Harley is one of them. And and don't think I'm not talking to myself right now, because I am. I've got my own issues, just like you guys. So I'm talking to myself too. Anyway, I'll end that rant. On to a different topic. Can you guys see this cap on the left here? Notice that it's not silver anymore. This is one of those new Harley brass parts. And if you guys can pick up the blue LEDs there. And if you're going to comment on the crud, which I know some of you will, because some of you guys have some eagle eyes out there. There's some crud in here, and that's bare metal polish I got from the dealer. Because with these brass parts, basically in the manual that comes with it, or the informational booklet that comes with it, basically says you can use that bare metal polish and just polish it to a lighter color as much as you want. Just keep polishing it. And I can say that the color here was much darker when I got it. I was polishing this for like 45 minutes last night straight, and I just kept getting this black residue off of it, and I just kept going and going and going. I'm not sure how bright I can get it. I think it seems a little lofty to get to the brightness I have on the right with that rough crafts part, which I guess would be my goal, so it all matches. But and then the size is different, and so is the shape and everything else. But I don't really care. It's not that big silver thing that came with it, and I kind of like the asymmetry in this particular case. And that could be me just trying to convince you guys that every decision I make is the right one, and I'm happy with it. And I could be trying to convince myself too. So I don't know about this, but what I'm trying to say is I don't think I'm going to change this anytime soon, because I could very easily get a matching gas cap on the right, screw that sucker on, and I have matchy. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep her a little bit funky, a little bit quirky, a little bit odd, because she's an odd girl. Scooter buddy. Now, there's some people that have some security. You ride a scooter, in my opinion, you got bigger balls. So I give you a sign, and then after I give you a sign, I give this guy a sign.